UAE continues relief operations to save victims of drought and famine in Somalia. Wall Street rises on lower volume and mixed data. And the Berlin Wall revisited 50 years on. This is 7 National News. In our top story this evening, the UAE continued its relief operations to save the victims of drought and famine in Somalia, as per the directives of President His Highness Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan and His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Vice President and Prime Minister of the UAE and ruler of Dubai. The emergency relief team of the UAE Red Crescent dispatched yesterday to a number of makeshift camps near Mogadishu 40 tons of essential food supplies sufficient for 1,000 families for a period of 1 month. The relief operations are supported by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi and Deputy Supreme Commander of the UAE Armed Forces, and followed up by His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Zayed Al Nahyan, ruler's representative in the Western region and chairman of the Red Crescent Authority. In the coming weeks, the RCA will continue to dispatch daily aid convoys to other camps where tens of thousands of refugees keep arriving in search of help as the famine looms large over the Horn of Africa. More than 1.2 million Pakistani expatriates in the UAE will celebrate their country's 65th Independence Day on Sunday. According to a local report, the official flag-hoisting ceremonies will be held at 8 a.m. at the Pakistan Embassy in Abu Dhabi and its Consulate General in Dubai. Ambassador for Pakistan, Jamil Ahmad Khan, will hoist the flag in the presence of a large gathering of Pakistani community members, while messages from the country's President and Prime Minister will be read out. House fires make out 33% of all fires, followed by automobile fires at 32%, according to a senior civil defence officer. Major Ali Al-Mutawa, director of Dubai Civil Defence's operations, says that there are 3 main causes of house fires, according to a local report. Electrical short circuit, worn-out gas fittings and random additions to the house are said to be the main causes of house fires. Although house fires have dropped by 25% since 2007, a reflection of the many initiatives, inspections and awareness campaigns, officials still advise homeowners to check the safety of their homes, the electricity circuits, and opt for using central gas systems over cylinders. Dubai has a thriving community of local comedians many may not know of. According to Dubomedy Arts, a comedy and urban arts hub, resident comedians are increasing in number and bringing in different types of comic forms to the city. And while Dubai has been synonymous for tourism and business, under its towering skyscrapers is a growing pool of comics with hopes of encouraging others to share the gift of laughter.
Making funny faces, accurate timing, and coming up with spur-of-the-moment punchlines are just some of the skills that would come in handy for an aspiring comedian, an entertainer, and a public speaker, among many others. Dubai residents are stepping out of their comfort zone to develop their gifts under the supervision of no less than a Broadway veteran and award-winning tap dancer, comedian, and educator.
Dubomedy Art School started 3.5 years ago, and our birthday is April 1st, of which only seems fair. But we run 8-week programs. The next one is going to start in September, and we do a comedy 101, and everyone is welcome. People have taken the class who are housewives, to flight attendants, to corporate lawyers, to advertisers, and not all of them want to be professional stand-up comedians. A lot of them just want to learn how to give a better pitch, how to be able to speak in public better with a little bit more confidence.
According to Emirati stand-up comic and producer Ali Al-Sayed, the growing community at Dubomedy Arts is a diverse mix of residents who throw humor into life's daily grind. Among their goals are to amuse, bridge cultures, and show the other side of Emiratis that not many people know about.
Comedy in its purest form is us writing about our own personal experiences, whether it is something I went through in life or something I observed. Being in such a melting pot like Dubai and having all those different nationalities, it's almost a lot easier to be able to talk about so many different things. And for me, I talk about stereotypes, different stereotypes of everybody. And I think that's once we bring out the stereotypes and put them out in the open, I think we're taking one step closer to being a community.
Shaima Al-Sayed shares the same sentiment and believes comedy is an effective tool in changing misconceptions.
People are laughing. It's very difficult for them to harbor any negative thoughts, and it's a good way to take up and say, like, making fun of something that they thought about us makes them accept the criticism. They like it. They laugh at themselves. They laugh at your joke, and they laugh at themselves for thinking of such a thing. So really, stand-up comedy is you there talking about your personal experiences and families and people you know.
Abdullah Al-Kasab is one of those who already got his act down to pat through Dubomedy. Though stand-up comedy is still new in the region, he has high hopes for the future.
My own life, it's kind of up and down, so I got a lot of inspirations coming from it. The normal things that are happening in here. And Dubai, anything can be turned up to funny. The biggest, even Burj Khalifa can be very good funny material, especially when Tom Cruise came and somehow sat on it. So that can be also another funny thing to say. As for what we want to achieve or what I wish to see is something like the Saturday Night Live or something like the David Letterman or Jon Stewart thing, but in Arabic version. That's something, not copying it, not doing a copycat of it, but having some good sitcom that can last for years, and yet it's real and there is no just some acting in it.
After Ramadan, the group will be back to tickle everyone's funny bones with a series of shows which they hope will spread the happiness throughout the community. After all, laughter is the best medicine for almost all of society's ills. Khadija Sali, 7 National News.
Central bank data has revealed that private sector deposits with UAE banks increased nearly 28 billion dirham in the first 5 months of 2011, more than 3 times the increase recorded in such deposits through 2010. According to a local report, government deposits with the country's 23 national banks and 28 foreign units also soared by nearly 25 billion dirham to reach their highest ever level, indicating a strong increase in the UAE's oil export earnings this year. From around 380.3 billion dirhams at the end of 2010, the private sector's deposits with banks climbed nearly 408.3 billion dirhams at the end of May. Additionally, the report showed individual deposits were also recovering, climbing by nearly 21 billion dirhams to one of their highest levels of around 306.2 billion dirhams at the end of May. A new aviation company based in Fujairah will launch flights from the eastern city to Abu Dhabi in 2012 to become the first airline to start regular domestic services in the UAE, according to local reports. Eastern Express, a joint venture between the two local aviation firms, Abu Al Hul and Hajar Airlines, will launch the service in the first quarter of 2012 at an initial rate of 2 flights a day. The report quoted a statement made by Eastern Express saying that the service will begin in the first quarter of next year and will facilitate the travel of passengers to Abu Dhabi, regional countries and other airports. It said the new company had just been created by those two airlines, which are owned by businessmen from Dubai and Abu Dhabi. Looking to news abroad now, a half a century after it was built and 2 decades after its demise, a few bits of the wall that once split Berlin into east and west are still visible and intriguing for tourists seeking a glimpse of the city's Cold War history. At least 136 people were killed trying to get through the wall that divided Berlin from the day it was built 50 years ago on August 13, 1961. Almost all of the 160-kilometre of Berlin Wall that encircled West Berlin in the heart of communist East Germany was hastily torn down or chiselled away in the euphoria after it was breached in 1989. Many of the wall slabs were sold, raising some 2 million Deutsche Mark for the government. Some 300 East German border guards and 600 West German soldiers worked together to tear down the rest, converting it into 300,000 tons of concrete mass. But now, as growing numbers of tourists come to Berlin each year, searching largely in vain for traces of the wall, the city has re-erected and restored parts, while monument preservation experts are working to conserve other segments.
I feel kind of horrified idea that if I wanted to go there, they have this field behind the wall and you get shot. That it's death sentence to want to go abroad. that's horrifying thing.
United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon took part in a Red Cross event in the South Korean capital of Seoul on Friday to raise money for African children. The Red Cross campaign, under the slogan of Together for Africa, will raise funds for children living in some parts of the continent's poorest countries located in the Horn of Africa. Ban said he would do his best to help ease the suffering in the region. In July, the UN's World Food Programme appealed in a statement for funding for its $477 million program and reported that the lives of 500,000 children in the region are at risk. Proceeds from the fundraising, which was also attended by many South Korean celebrities, will be donated to the International Red Cross and UNICEF, who will oversee the African Relief Program.
You can count on me, and I have a firm commitment that even during my 5-year term, second term, this African challenge will continue to be my priority.
Up next, we have the day's business news for you, so stay with us.